Well, when you work in a small school, it's kind of like a family. And when students come to tour, we tell them it's kind of like a small town. So if you don't want anybody to know anything, don't say anything, because I'm going to know by noon. And so when it's like a family and you've had a student like CJ for 2 years, I kind of am now the mom, maybe sometimes the crazy aunt. But regardless of the conversations I've had with CJ over the last 2 years, maybe sometimes I've been disappointed. Maybe sometimes I've raised my voice. But just like a coach would do with his athlete, it's because they care and they see more in there. And throughout all those conversations, your integrity has always been present. And your integrity hasn't been anything we've ever questioned. We were just trying to see your potential. And so really, at the academy, if something is missing, I mean, we're kind of live like teenagers, like I said. It's kind of a mess sometimes. We may say, go ask CJ, see if he knows where it is. If we need an errand run, we may just say, go ask CJ if he can do it for us. So he's called upon in many capacities because of the integrity and because of his leadership that he exhibits. And he does things for the simple reason that he just knows that they need to be done. Last semester, we were trying to make a ploy to get some tools at Liberty Academy, and so he put a whole presentation together and did research and contacted the person he would need to present to and made him an engraved wooden gift and did all this stuff. And he had asked for the name of the person he needed to present to, and then I see that person leaving one day. I'm like, what were you doing? He's like, I was here for a presentation. So it all kind of took place, and I missed the whole thing, didn't even know what was going on. And then CJ does have a nice picture of himself in front of some boxes of gifts around Christmas and some tools that his presentation paid off. But he did that because he knew it needed to be done. He saw a need in the school, and he stepped up and he did it. There was no grade attached to the project. He just knew that it would be a benefit to the school and his peers. He stays after school every day to help clean up. Custodian talks about him all the time and tells everybody about CJ, and CJ found this and he was going to tell CJ that, and CJ wasn't at school yesterday. He wanted to talk to you, but you weren't there yesterday, so he missed you. And so I've heard him tell everybody that he wanted to talk to you, and so he's just kind of like town mayor, I guess. Cleans up, he helps the teachers, he picks up after his peers after lunch if they're not, if they haven't picked up their space. But ultimately, his presence at school builds up the personal responsibility of those around by the way that he leads by example. And sometimes I've even called on him to help me with other students to see if he can get through to them when I can't. And I've seen him sitting on the floor talking to peers, trying to coach them through things. They know that CJ will do the right thing and that he expects them to do the same, and so they hold themselves to a high standard as well. At times, the teachers say that CJ feels like another teacher in the space, and they trust him and appreciate him for that. In fact, when there's times when we need help, we'll ask CJ, and it usually follows with a comment like, it's okay, he's on staff here. The truth is that CJ really probably didn't need us as much as we needed him, and last year he really should have returned to North for his senior year. But we took our most persuasive staff member to call his dad and persuade Dad to have him stay one more year as a role model and leader for his peers. And CJ has lived up to the challenge, and we're so honored to present him with the Integrity Award for Liberty Academy.